Hey guys, if you're enjoying the show and listening to us talk about what needs to be said in surfing, then please do us a favour and chuck us a follow wherever you get your podcast fix.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all the rest. The best part about it, it's going to cost you absolutely nothing. That way we can keep bringing you the goods. You can also find some of our stuff on Instagram and TikTok where we throw up some extras. So please tune into those.
Our handle on that is @the Podcast. And once again, thanks for listening. Enjoy the show.
The Stab High recap presented by our good friends at Macaroni's Resort. Finley, I feel like a few people are waiting out for this one.
Yeah, it's highly anticipated. Probably one of the all-time weekends in my regard. Anyway, I haven't.
It was up there.
Yeah, I mean, like you've had many more weekends out than I have, and many more events under your belt. But for me, that was top of the list.
That was huge. That was huge.
Yeah. I was. Like you spend all day at the pool, which is one thing. It's draining. Like it was so hot every day. It's white concrete, so it's just reflecting sun. I was sunburnt every day. We were both looking like Zoidberg at the end of each day. The surfing was incredible. That was draining to watch also because you're just like, oh my God, these guys are freaks. And then by about sort of, I don't know, 2:00, the beers start flowing and then that's draining. So, and then you're up the next day early.
It felt like a festival.
It did. It did
like
stop.
Me and Tommy Cruz, we flew in on Thursday morning, super early, which we'll get into. But all we did was pretty much go to Sydney and not leave one zone for 3 days. And it's like Splendor.
Seriously.
You get there early, or like midday. You get your wristband. You walk in. You walk out at night when you're half cut, and then you go to bed. And then you wake up in the morning hungover. And you go back in. It was a full-blown festival.
Seriously.
And it should be Stab High Festival.
Yeah. And shout out to Stab and Urban Surf as well. Obviously, there's a few more sponsors in the mix there. But, geez, they can put on an event.
That was so good.
That was incredible. I'd messaged Shinya this morning, who's the graphic designer at Stab, who gave us a little toe into getting down there. And I just said, mate, that was incredible. Like, that was not only a good weekend, but just the event itself was across the board top tier.
Do you know who else needs a big thank you?
Who?
Not sure if they were taking the piss, but me and you walked past some groups that we didn't know, and they're like, "Oh, Largo boys." Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were like being genuine.
Yeah.
Not sure if they've taken the piss, then we'll take that anyway. But I reckon I probably had about 5 to 6 or 7 crew like stop me and shake my hand, be like, "Oh yeah, that's sick. What are you doing?" And like, if you're listening, like that shit means so much.
Yeah.
We're not these fucking people that thought that would ever happen. So to have someone stop you and say, "Oh, you really like what you're doing," it genuinely means a whole lot to us because, yeah, from our side of doing things, we're just two blokes here having a yarn and then put it on the internet and see what happens. So big thanks to anyone who saw us and stopped and said hello. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
good for the soul, that one.
100%. Yeah, that was really cool.
But yeah, I'm the way I'm feeling now is like when your phone's on low battery mode and it's just only allowing the vitals to work. Like it's Tuesday as we're recording, Tuesday afternoon. I'm back to like 85%, but my God, Sunday, Monday, low battery mode, just in the orange, not in the red, but in the orange.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same, mate. So I had, obviously, we touched on it, late nights, and then Sunday, I had a little bit more time to recover than you. You're on the 9 a.m. out of Sydney. I was on the 2 p.m. So I had a bit more time under my belt. But got home and then the surfing was going to start at like 9:30 or whatever. And I was just like, I was keen to watch it and had dinner and whatnot. And there was probably 2 or 3 hours after that point until the surfing started. And I had all the packages sitting there, all the orders. Shout out to everyone who grabbed some stuff as well. Thank you very much. Like we're out of camo hats now. They're sold out. Brown's on the way out, and we're single digits and all the tees. So
yeah,
thank you very much to everyone who grabbed something. It means the world. But yeah, I was looking at the orders and I was like, oh, I'll do them. I'll get them going. So it started. Probably got halfway through them. Packing's not easy. It's quite taxing on the soul. Got them mostly done, or sort of halfway done or whatever, and then the surfing began. I stayed up, another late night, and then played OzTag yesterday, so Monday. I think I've broken my finger, hence the tape.
Yeah, you got a finger condom on.
Yeah. Also scratched, like my leg is just red raw from a dive, which I will add was a failed dive. I didn't actually make the tag. But I couldn't sleep last night either because I had one sore hand on this side and one sore leg on that side. So nowhere was comfortable. So I'm struggling.
You're still struggling.
I'm still struggling.
You know what's the biggest struggle ever?
What?
When you've had an absolute belter of a night, and then you up early. Like for me, I had to go to the airport. We were in the car by 6:30.
That's tough.
3 a.m. finished that night, by the way. 3:30 by the time I got to sleep. And you're driving out. It is the most beautiful day. You're hung as batshit. And then you're looking at all these people walking their dog and running and like getting coffees, and you just feel like going, fuck you. Just get in the ditch with me.
Just really just making you feel like a model citizen.
And then they're probably looking at you like in the car with like your head up against the glass, just like your cheeks smeared, looking like pure bag of dicks. And you just like, they're probably judging me, and you're sitting there, you get all emotional, like, oh, leave me alone. That was one of the toughest car rides to the airport.
Yeah.
I was mute.
Yeah.
Do you know what, like I was saying, like I was just running on vitals.
Yeah.
Speaking is optional.
Yeah.
Don't speak to me. I was saying to myself, like, I was on the seesaw of being like, I could spew on the way to the airport or I won't. And I was just like, I'm just going to stare at the back of the seat in front of me and just not think.
Yeah, I got the text to confirm that, Zach, going, I think I'm going to vomit. It's just, how good's going internal, though? You just fully just...
Zen.
Yeah, you go inside yourself and you just sit there and just every part of your being is focusing on not chundering in the taxi or in the Uber on the way to the airport.
Another shit thing is, fortunately, I've got access to the lounge. I love going to the lounge because it's free coffees, free beers, free food. I had a bit of uncooked raisin bread. One slice, and everyone's got like, you know, these eggs and making toasted sandwiches and shit, and I usually do that, and I just couldn't do it. But let's get into it. Thursday. So you came down Thursday as well because it was actually the practice. Yeah. So everyone before the event got one or two practices. One heat practice, which was I think 4 rights, 4 lefts.
Unless you're Yago, who seemed to be out there all day. I don't know how he
can do what he wants.
I don't know who he paid off to do that, but yeah, he was out there quite a bit. He was actually surfing when they send this air section. Say you're on the right-hander, for example. When they pull the wave through, it also creates a wave on the left-hand side, but it's more like it's not really a properly formed wave, but you could surf it.
It's like a dwarf wave.
It is. It's like a little runt wave, and running off the far wall. And there was crew surfing that all day too. And by day 3 of the event, I was looking at going, geez, I could surf that. Right?
I'd almost pay $50 for one of those
just to go out. But yeah, it was good to see everyone warming up. I arrived there a little bit later than you did. You were off me. I was in the Shangri-La Hotel in Sydney with room service. They brought it in the little table with the silver, I don't know, whatever you call it, cover on it. And I was very, very comfortable where I was, and you were off me.
Mate, I was like, mate, there's content coming out the wazoo here. Get here. And you're like, I'm at the Shangri-La, like just living it up. And I was like, mate, we got work to do.
Yeah.
For anyone who is interested, there will be a YouTube play of this. It's a vlog, not vlog. It's a vlog, let's not lie.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary. So everything we talk about here will be mostly in the visual form. Some of it will be in the visual form.
To an extent, we got like, we had grand intentions of recording the whole weekend, and then I was watching it before and it's patchy, but I think there's enough there for a video. So it
was too hard to film everything. You got to be present. So
yeah.
But Thursday morning, I don't know why, but I flew out of the Gold Coast at 6 a.m. because I wanted to get there for the first couple practice sessions, which we ended up missing anyway. Flew down with Tommy from work, got to Sydney Airport, and then when we were waiting for an Uber, we actually ran into Jesse Little, filmer Jesse Little, and Ethan Smith from FCFs. And we're like, oh, you boys are going to the same place as us. No worries. So we booked an Uber XL. Now, can you describe to me, Uber XL, how big is that car, do you think? Like off the top of your head?
So I'm not an Uber guy, but if
Yeah.
it seems to me like it'd be a large car.
Thank you. Great answer. This car, like I looked down, it said one of those Mercedes like M classes or X classes, whatever that, like a big van, like a Vito van, Vito, whatever they are.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, boys, we're frothing. Like we're going in luxe comfort. This guy turns up, Asian guy, and his car is wrapped in Hello Kitty, like this weird as fuck stuff. And we're like, hang on, I'm looking at the number plate. It's the same number plate. I'm going, this little Asian dude gets out. He's got like porcupine dyed tipped hair, like looked like a fucking tennis ball. And he looks at Ethan, who had surfboard bags because they had an activation down there for FCS, and he's like, oh no, not gonna fit. And we're like, no, they're empty, like they're just bags, we can fold them up. And I had a bunch of Billabong product as well, so we had a fair few bags, but only 4 people. Booked an Uber XL. This guy gets out and goes to the Uber concierge and just starts pointing at me and laughing and goes, ha, these guys only book Uber XL, none for Maxi. What fucking idiots. And we're just like, what is happening? We're getting absolutely roasted by a little Asian Uber driver. And then the concierge dude was just like laughing at us as well, going, yeah, like idiots, booked Uber XL and not Maxi. Is that not like at 7:30 in the morning? No, it was about 8:30. We were like, I was gobsmacked that I was getting bullied for booking the wrong Uber.
I think Uber needs to reassess their sizing guide. They should call it Uber, like Uber small, medium, large, extra. Because like if you book an Uber XL, to me, someone who doesn't catch Ubers very often, that is across the board in all facets of life. Extra large is usually the biggest, or it's right up there. And in this scenario, it's not. So I think that's slightly on Uber too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I must have missed that lesson at school. Like, didn't learn that one.
Does it, when you order the Uber though, does it tell you how many seats are in the car?
No. Okay. Oh, it does. Yeah, it's a guide though. It's not like it doesn't tell you what car you're actually getting.
It just says 5 seats in this car.
6.
Oh,
6 seats.
Okay, yeah.
We order an Uber Maxi after I cost $10 to cancel the ride after I didn't want to cancel it. And it turns up, another guy turns up, lovely man who was in a smaller car and said, get in. So off to a great start there. But then we got to the pool and we locked in.
Well, that sounds similar to me, which we've got obviously the episode that you might have seen on Instagram with Lennox and Huey, which will be dropping in the next few weeks. Stay tuned for that one because it's a banger. But on that, I mentioned that I was getting on the train and I tapped off with the wrong card. So I tapped on with one card, tapped off with another card, and then went back. I was in a panic, kind of walked halfway to the hotel, and then I was like to my girlfriend Maya, I was like, we got to go back. Like, I can't stomach this. You know what I'm like. Like, I'm a bit of a head case, but I was like, we have to go back. So I went back and I was like, hey, I reckon I've done this wrong. He's like, yeah, sweet. Just tap off with both cards and you'll be fine. So I was like, all right, cool. Check my bank statement last night. Charged twice. $60.
60 bucks?
60 bucks.
Oh, Finley.
Yeah.
That's astronomical.
Not $60 each, $60 accumulatively, but too much.
Let's just give Transport a roast. I'm actually in a dispute with Linked, which is the Brisbane, well, it's any gateway, like motorway toll thing. They charged me as a 4-axle semi-trailer.
Really?
Yep. On the way there, they charged me as a car. So you figure that. So
what's the price difference?
$10. Anyhow,
it all counts.
Yeah, Finley just alluded to, we did an unbelievable podcast with Huey Vaughan, Lennox Smith. A little bit of a teaser for you. It's 2 teenage boys talking about what teenage boys do best.
Yeah.
Just surfing, chicks, getting blind.
Yeah.
Having fun.
I kept saying this, but like, we did not need to be there.
No.
We could have just left him. And I was like, even asked, I was watching it back to edit it. I'm sort of half editing that, and then I'll be doing other stuff throughout the next few weeks, just getting on top of it. And I was like asking him questions, and they'd look at each other and laugh, and I'm like, they must know there's other stuff there that either they're laughing at me for a stupid question, or there's something else that was going on. But they definitely get into a lot of detail about certain things. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, as we said.
So yeah, Thursday was just practice days. We both ended up staying no, you left early to go to dinner in the city, but I ended up staying at the pool until about 10 p.m. watching Leno.
Yeah.
And then we had a few drinks there, but like not a huge send. I think I was home by 10:30.
Yeah, first night was early night.
Yeah.
So
And then Friday, so this is when the first day kicked off.
Yeah.
Early start for me, 7 a.m. At this point, this is where I was like, I was here all day yesterday and I'm already back here and I feel like I'm going to be here all day today.
Yeah.
This is where the festival vibes started to come in. Might I add, there was house music getting blasted from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every night. So
it's a marathon.
Really did feel like a bit of a festival.
Yeah.
This is where we start to find out that me and you are fucking terrible vloggers. It's so awkward, like to have your camera just like blasted in someone's face and ask them questions. I almost felt like starting every vlog like, oh, sorry, it's just me again. Like I'm not going over here going like, hey guys, it's Nicole. I'm at the pool. Like all this weird shit. But
I struggle to do it in front of Maya. I will ask her to leave the room if I was talking to my camera.
I'm the same.
I need you to go. I'm going to do this, and then you can come back in. And then even when we're at the pool, we were like, oh yeah, we'll do like an intro for the day, or we'll do like a little piece, just you and I, and it just never happened.
Yeah, no, it didn't. But let's get into it. Friday, anything that comes to mind airs wise for you?
Friday. So Friday was round 1.
Yeah.
So they all had open men's, open ladies, ladybirds, which is the young girls, and the bottle rockets, which is the young boys. They all had their first runs. They actually no, the open girls didn't, did they? They were all on the final day.
Yes, correct.
I'm pretty sure. So everyone but the open girls had a run, I believe. We got down there, and I arrived a bit later than you. I had to Uber in from the city, so it took about sort of half an hour, a bit longer with traffic, to get to the pool. So you're already there, but by the time I rocked up, they were sort of maybe halfway through the men's opening round. And in terms of airs that stood out, like the thing that stood out across the entire day for me was Huey Vaughan. So he was the reigning champion of the event, as we know now. It wasn't to be this time. Was the reigning champion of the event. Went for, I believe it was rights first, I believe. Didn't land anything. So went 3 for 3, tried one of those cork backflips that he does. Didn't land any. Went to the left.
Well, he was so close to landing one. He pretty well landed one and then nosedived like what you would see a backpacker at a surf school ride out of. He nosedived on.
Yeah. And then, so he fell on all his rights. And at that point, I was like, a bit stressy, because I was like, he is a guy that if he makes a final, he's probably going to win. Like, that's just how he is. It's just how he operates. And went 0 and 3 on the right, and then moved to the left, fell on his first 2. And I'm going, holy crap, he's going down straight sets here. Like, he's going to be in all sorts. And then on his very last left, so Zach decided on that wave to go home.
I had to get a hat.
I had to get a hat for one of his athletes. And I was like, he was like, look, it'll be fine. Like, there's nothing crazy is going to happen.
I was saying he's having a melt.
Yeah.
Well, he was having a melt.
He was having a melt for sure. And we were just like, I was like, all right, yeah, look, like, you go back to your room. He's landed nothing. The chance of him landing something crazy here, like, it's not 0, but it's pretty low at this point. Anyway,
what's 1 in 8?
He made us look like an absolute peanut, because he came out in his last wave, and I didn't even have my phone out to film. I was sitting there just going, this will be hilarious if this happens. And he just did the biggest backside 4-8 stale, stomped it as clean as a whistle, highest score of the day on his last wave. And I just went, I just messaged you immediately. I went, Zach, he's done the best air of the day on his last wave. And I was not happy. But we ended up like it meant that he was into the next round, which was cool. So I think he got 45 out of 50. Meant he got to surf another day. So we're like, sweet, we'll get him the next day. But apart from that, like, look, Rasta Rob, really impressive all weekend.
Yeah,
he was a guy that he's obviously really well known for his airs, but it's not until you're standing on the wall looking into them that you really get a gauge on how impressive they are. He doesn't tend to throw down the grabs that Huey and maybe Ian Cranes and those guys are throwing down, but it's just the amplitude of his airs. Like, he's hitting sections and traveling across where guys are landing in the wash, he's like airing over the entirety of the whitewash and landing in flat water. And it's like, holy crap, like he's getting so much projection off these airs. And that was really impressive to see also. In terms of the bottle rockets, I mean, Loki Cullen just does what he does every day and just lands huge backhand stale fishes, which similar move to what I think even the same move that what Huey was going for. But yeah, he was a bit of a highlight on that day too. But I don't know, those were two guys that really stood out to me.
I really loved Leno. He kind of had a similar story to Huey, like pretty Barry Crocker of a start, and I was like, oh man, like he went terrible at Japan, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a repeat. And then last wave backhand, which like off the top of your noggin, you're thinking on your backhand, you're at a slight disadvantage for some, probably not like a Medina or a Italo or something, but for the majority, they'll probably, you're not your strongest.
You want your forehand. And for context here, I'll butt in. So they have their first run, 3 ways each way. Then they have a secondary run for everyone that doesn't make the top 10. And then the top 4 from that get to go again the next day in like either first place goes straight back into the main draw and then the other 3 battle out for the last place. So Leno didn't make the initial top 10, but the wave you're referring to is when he went back out for his sudden death surf off. Believe he actually even chose to go left though. He's obviously more confident on his back end. He's got that air on lock, well, supposedly, because he didn't land any up until that point. He landed 1, but the one he did in sudden death was by far his biggest air of the whole day. That
was the best air I think I've ever seen him do, and I don't think he's gonna disagree with me there.
No,
it was so inverted. It was a backside indie grab. Well, it wasn't a full rope, but it was just so inverted. It was almost like a backflip on the backhand.
Yeah, it was big.
It was absolutely huge, and he stomped it on the last attempt. And for anyone that's, when you've done an air 3 times, do you reckon there's a part where you just go, oh fuck, I'll just do a stock standard, just flat spin, just to get in? Because there is times when no one's landed anything. You could theoretically just do a chop up, and make it through. He went, nah, I'm just gonna stick to my guns, and just went for it. And we might insert the clip here for our YouTube audience, but like I said, there'll be a more extensive video. And he stomped it when it mattered most. And I had the chicken skin. The chook skin was present.
I was wrapped for him for sure. And like in that sudden death round, like obviously we all know who was in the main draw. But in that sudden death round, like the surfers in that, Jackson Dora, Noah Dean, Balaram Stack, Dane Henry, Parker Coffin, McCanna Fransman, Grayson Hinrich, Lennox Smith, Aton Osborne. That's a really crazy lineup, and you got to come top 4 in that. Lennox came second with a 41 on that punt, which is very, very impressive to just grease that when he needed it most. I don't know if anyone else on that day stood out to you other than Beagle.
There was one. I don't know. Look, we have no idea about the broadcast because we were there in the flesh. So, like, not sure if this was discussed at full length or highlighted on even on the broadcast. But Rasta Rob almost killed the cameraman.
Yeah.
He fully did one of these sickest punts and landed on the lens of the camera.
Yeah.
Like, we heard it. It was a full... it reminded me of Philippe Toledo at the pool in Abu Dhabi when his fin came out. And fair enough, as soon as he landed and rode out, he flipped the board straight over and was just like, I'm surely missing something.
Yeah.
Wasn't. Board was fine. And then he's looked over at the cameraman that they've given reciprocal thumbs up. And I was like, oh, that's heartbreaking if you've landed a really good punt and then like landed and snapped your tail or even like fell off.
Yeah.
I reckon if he did fall, they would have given him an extra wave. It wasn't like you reckon that hindered? It was like he landed on the cameraman.
Yeah.
But nothing happened, if that made sense, like miraculously.
Yeah, he just continued to ride out over the top of him. But I imagine there would have been some damage to a fin box because he hit him pretty hard.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, but Raiji actually got another wave as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they sent through a wave and he wasn't completely ready yet because they had switched from the right to the left.
Right.
And he got an extra wave, but 2 attempts, which is kind of like...
True. So they let him go on the first one, didn't land it, and then went again.
Do you know what I think happened? And I hope someone corrects me if I'm wrong, but what I think happened was the first wave wasn't the real wave. It was still on the other side of the setting. But when you paddle for it, it does kind of throw. You wouldn't quite know until probably a second or third pump, you're like, something just doesn't feel right. And then I think Taj
had one too.
Taj had the same where I
Yeah.
think everyone was wigging like,
Yeah.
oh, he missed out. So yeah, there was a few moments like that, but man, what a day! Day one was incredible.
Yeah, it
Again,
really
we
was.
don't know what the broadcast was, but there was so many good airs that just get kind of lost in space because someone's doing something incredible.
Yeah, and it's
Huey or a Rasta Rob or a Lennox.
It's hard for me now, like to even because you saw so much over those couple of days. I'm trying to figure out when things happen, but I'm pretty sure it was day one, and it may have been the final day. I'm not sure, but another little controversy that happened, which was Yago Dora, who was just killing it. He's just on this crazy run. He greased a 42 on his first wave, which had him pretty well. It had him in first because Huey Vaughan landed his 45 on his very last wave. So Yago was leading throughout the whole of the first round. Pretty certain it was day one that Jacob Zickelli tried to jump over him as he was trying to acid drop over him while he was taking off on his wave to, I guess, put him off. And it didn't end up working. But that was like, to me, I was like, holy crap. Like,
on that wave, Yago won the Monster Air.
On that wave?
wave.
Yeah.
So it really didn't work at all. So Zeke tried to fuck with Yago by jumping over him while Yago was taking off the traditional route. And all it did was pay Yago 5K or 10K. I think it was 10K.
It made him angry.
Yeah, well, I don't think Yago has an
Maybe not.
angry phone. But what I did hear was, I think it was Bemmy. I think me or you asked Bemmy, like, oh, what's he kind of like think of Zeke? And he was like, I'm fairly sure he just goes, oh, Yago just goes, is this guy tripping? Like, that's the angriest the sentence he said.
Yeah.
Some people, like, I know Jules probably doesn't appreciate what Zeke was saying, but Yago's just smiling, just going, is this guy tripping? Like, that's all he bites. And that was like a private conversation. He's not even saying that on the broadcast or anything. So
yeah,
it doesn't seem to faze him at all.
Important to note here as well, Yago, you could probably forgive Yago for just rocking up to this thing and going, like, I'm here. Like, obviously it'd be good to win, but not too fussed either way. Like, I just want a world title. He was like dead set on trying to win this thing. I heard a conversation between him and Bemmy after Huey had a close miss on one of his punts that he did, and I remember him going like, "Oh, are they gonna score it?" Like, it was like, oh, like it was really up in the air, and like the way the judging booth is, it's kind of like 4 or 5 free surfers who they can be swayed by, like, is it a free surf make? So obviously in WSL you want to ride out in front of the whitewash and show complete control
for about 9 minutes.
Yeah, you could beat yourself if you can. With this though, it's a bit different. They're a bit more lenient on what they pay. This one with Huey was like, it was borderline, but like you're probably leaning more towards not a make. Like, it was, he didn't fully ride out. And I heard him and Bemmy going like, oh, like Yago's going, oh, they can give it to him if they want. Like, I don't care, but it's not a make. Like, he was like fully getting rolled up about it. And I was like, oh, he
had
wants
his speech ready if it went.
Yeah, he was like, it's definitely not a make. Like, they can do whatever they want. And I think at this point he knew he was out in front. So it was like, he's still going to get a chance to win the thing. But cool to see how like competitive he is behind closed doors, because he was here to win.
Yeah, silent assassin. Yeah. Another CT surfer that almost didn't get a start was Jules.
Yeah,
I was actually I was chatting with Adam Francis and Caden Francis, and Jules was there as well. And he was just cruising and waxing up his board. He was talking about whether he was going to ride a 20 or his traditional board. And then they were like, oh, they read out the order, and he was like the 4th surfer to catch a wave. Now, for anyone out there not aware, there's 90 seconds between wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5.
Yeah.
Even 6 in some heats. He got to about surfer 3, and he had his wetsuit half around his waist, no rashi on, waxing up his board, and we were like, oh, yeah, you got theoretically only 2-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, sweet. And then we were like, oh, you've only got one more surfer. Might want to go. He's like, oh, fuck. And like quickly, and had to sprint. I mean, properly sprint. But before that, I was lucky enough. I was like, oh, what are you going to go for? And he said, oh, I'm going to go for a finger flip. And I was like, I wonder if Zeke got in his head.
Right.
because there was some explosive conversations on the mic there. I'm not sure if it was through the broadcast, so if anyone
No,
heard
it was.
It was?
Yeah, yeah.
But Zeke called out pretty well every CT surfer by saying they were boring as fuck. He's like, there's 3 CT surfers here, or 2 CT surfers, or whatever it was. It was, 3? And they're like, they're ripping, but...
He's like telling them to level up. That was the words he was using.
Like I heard the word gay. That's gay as fuck. Like, I was like, oh my God, like calling someone gay as fuck because they're not trying any, like, I think what he was referring to was new school tricks.
Yeah.
Finger flips, kick flips, shoves, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that guy knows how to work a crowd, because I'm not going to, you fucking love him or you hate him, but every time that man walked out the wall, he had the most high fives and yahoos, and more than Yago.
Yeah. And I just was going to jump in there and say, I've always been on a little bit on the fence about Zeke, seeing his antics online and how he operates and how he goes about his work. And I was excited to see him in real life this last weekend. And tell you what, I'm a big fan of him. He's won me over. He talks a lot of smack, like huge amounts of smack, but he backs it up too.
He does.
He did not for a second, like there was even times when he hadn't landed anything or he was struggling, and even I don't believe in the final, which we'll get to, but I don't believe he stuck too much, but he was trying he was doing stuff that no one else in the draw was doing.
He nearly stomped in the final, last wave of the whole final. He nearly got the Superman finger flip, which probably would have trumped Joel Vaughan's.
And it'd have, like, if you stick one of those, I feel like you got to go 50.
I don't think it's ever been stomped in competition, so you'd have to throw a 50 at it.
Yeah. But he was acid dropping. He was trying to push the boundaries, and even just watching him up the side of the pool, like some of the guys, they're real quiet, and like that's fine because that's kind of how free surfers are. They keep themselves to themselves, and they got their sort of cliques that they stay in. Zeke didn't care who you were. Like, if you talked to him on the way out the wall, he was going to give you some of his time. And he
gives everyone the time of day. Groms, adults, whatever. Yeah. He is such a personality.
Yeah.
His success rate was remarkably high.
I said this to you on the day. His surfing is so well designed for this setup of competition.
First morning, 7 a.m. Friday, he gets second wave or third wave of the whole event. And stomped the Superman, and like, I don't know, it was kind of like Superman sex change. How you put the board back down backwards.
Yeah.
No, it's not a sex change, is it? No, it's not. It's like a Superman.
This is your field. I'm not the air guy.
Oh, it's a Superman passion pop.
Yeah. Sorry,
mind back. He landed a Superman passion pop at 7:30 in the fucking morning, and I just went, oh my God, I think he's gonna win this.
Yeah.
So props to Zeke. Love him or hate him, he's authentic. Yeah. It's not a facade. Like, it's not an online, like, he's not there like these models at fucking Bondi Beach or whatever, doing viral streams or whatever. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
What I have heard, though, is like genuinely one-on-one, he's like kind, like very good bloke.
Seems it, yeah.
Like, he's level-headed. Like, he knows when to elevate and when to calm it down.
Yeah.
One thing that I wasn't aware of is the guy is small.
He's not a big guy.
There's no way he's more than 5'9". He's a 5'8", 5'9".
Mate,
he's pretty small.
He's smaller than that. I'll see if we got it online, but he is not very tall.
For a small man, he wears pants the size of, like, they look like space pants.
They do.
They were like they were ankle slappers, those things, and they were shorts. They weren't jeans or like pants. They were shorts.
Yeah.
That look like pants.
They were, yeah.
Probably the baggiest pants I've ever seen worn by a man, but
by a man.
Like, I'm actually a fan.
He's 5'6".
Holy smokes.
Yeah, he's not tall, man, but he makes up for it in attitude, and swagger. So big fat, like, come out of this going, I'm a fan of Zeke. Yeah, so good on him. He's unapologetically himself.
He is,
which not many people can say.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
What I liked the most about this whole weekend was seeing you double parked the whole time. I didn't think I'd see it.
Yeah, I just need a setting. You get me in the right setting, I'll have a go. But doesn't happen very often. That's why it's kind of cool to go to these events, because it's like, oh, There's free drinks getting handed out. I'm here. There's all the pros are here. Like I'm just like, sweet, let's go.
You're walking around half chub.
I was very, very happy to be there. I was happy to be there, and they were sponsored by White Claw, which is like a vodka. I don't know. Everyone knows what a White Claw is.
I don't think I'll be having another one for a while.
No, well, the ones they were giving out pretty like openly to everyone were they were 6%ers. They were 1.6.
Turbo.
They were turbo, man. Like didn't realize, and
A1.
we sat there on the last night. We just kind of pulled up a chair and sat on the balcony and watched a few of the pros go and get their session. Parker Coffin was out there ripping Aussie Ride as well.
Craig.
Who?
Craig.
Yeah. So they were all out there getting some waves in, and the sun was setting, and we were just sitting there smashing White Claws. And I was like, kind of just feeling like, oh, this is a bit weird. And I look, and I was like, holy crap! Like I've had 3 of these, and they're 1.6 in not very big amount of time. And it was, it gets to your head pretty quickly. So
full jet fuel, those things. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely had a couple of those.
That was the night you tried to get me to go to the casino. Zach, pretty against casinos and gambling generally.
Oh, indubitably. But for some reason, I just went, let's go to the Cas.
I just had Zach like. And I don't mind a punt. Like I enjoy a punt. So that's for me to be going, no, Zach, like I want to go home. And you're going, no, we'll find some pokies. Like we'll get some. And I was going, Zach, we have to go home, mate. It's a really bad idea. And then I just see you with your phone, and you've got maps open and your voice, and you've just gone pub. And I've seen your phone, and it's just like a million pubs in Sydney just light up. And you're like, look how many there are.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro,
that would have been a bad idea.
We got to go.
Zero amount of money to go into a pokey, so that would have ended badly. Thank you very much, Dad, for that one.
Yeah.
So by the end of Saturday, there can only be one winner, one victor, one person to hold the checks. So we'll get into it.
Can I just say as well, this was at the point of the weekend where obviously Thursday was the warm-up day. We started. The fact it was Saturday was wigging me out because it felt like it was a Sunday. I was like, it was ready to go. And then we kind of like get to the end of it and you're like, oh, it's still Saturday. We got a night ahead of us as well.
We haven't even got to the juicy topic.
No, not at all. But sorry, continue.
So kicking off the finals was the Bottle Rockets, and as predicted, Finley, Loki Carlin, clean sweep, 2 from 2 that he's been in. Now is unfortunately banned from the Bottle Rockets. He is no longer allowed to surf in the Bottle Rockets, according to Nathan Fletcher.
Making too much money.
Oh, I think they're just, and rightfully so. He was a level above the rest.
Tell you what, though,
really fit.
Kid I was very impressed with, and Shinya told me what his name was because I didn't know, was Corey Lopez's son, Luke Lopez.
Yep.
He was pushing it as well and nearly stomped a couple of huge ones that would have matched Loki's scores.
For sure. He was throwing full Hail Marys.
Yeah, very impressive. Keep an eye on him because I'd genuinely never heard of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw him on the first day and he was riding this board, probably heavily inspired by what his dad used to ride, which was quite chubby in the nose, a lot of volume up front. And it looked like the perfect board for the wave pool because he was throwing them and landing in the wash, but because he had this volume up front, it was allowing him just keep going. A lot of guys getting left behind. And he was like landing so far back in the wash, but still riding out of them with speed. And I was watching him, and he did a couple of 4-outs that were ginormous. So keep an eye on that bloke because he'll be very happy that Loki's no longer in this division.
Well, he comes from a healthy pedigree, so
yeah,
early signs are looking great for that young man.
Yeah,
but Loki had a bit of a Barry Crocker throughout this whole final. Did not make one air until the last attempt on his backhand, where he stomped a backside full rotation stale grab.
Yeah,
although it wasn't a stale grab, Finley, because it was a fin grab. He is pretty well grabbing the fin. If not, he is grabbing the fin the entire time.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess it's funny because on your backhand, it's almost like it's a stale fish, but it's kind of not. If that makes it's weird.
It's a weird out.
It's a weird setup.
There's a bit of Pythagoras theorem going on.
Yeah,
that I'm trying to understand, a bit of geometry and cut and shapes and whatnot. But also honourable mention to Jagger Phillips, who actually held the lead for quite some time in that heat. First wave of the final, stomped a big indie grab airverse. So good on Jagger as well. But it's safe to say the future's pretty well looking bright for the young lads in that final.
It's looking safe, absolutely. Yeah. Who do we have? So in the final, obviously Loki wins.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a 45. Luke Lopez second. Jagger Phillips third.
Yep.
Cruz Uros didn't land anything. Comes in at fourth. But those guys are all standouts throughout the entire event. Cruz actually had a 43 in the round one. So he's clearly got a bag of tricks that's good enough to win this event. Loki, too classy though, and has such been banned.
And now has banned himself. So Loki will be in the open men's from this point onwards, and next year he'll be 15.
And everyone will be very worried about Verse coming up against him.
So no doubt he'll be the youngest, I would say the youngest competitor in the opens division. But
Funnily this year as well, they didn't give the Bottle Rocket access to the final. I don't know what the reasoning was behind that. It might have been time or access to sections. I don't know. But usually the Bottle Rocket gets a crack at the men's opens title as well. I don't think with the airs that got landed anyway, he probably wouldn't have won. Although you can't say that for real, because it's hard to imagine him in the final. People would have had different runs, different times, so can't really say that. But
it was going to be a tough one.
It would have been a tough one for him to win.
Yeah. Compared to the Japan one, there wasn't as many landed airs, so he was probably, he nearly won that one.
Yeah.
But same for the Ladybirds. The winner of that did not go into the Open Women's Finals, so I think they've canned that, unfortunately. A lot of people were scratching their head, including me. I thought he was going to get the double.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Ladybirds, it was Sky Suit. Never heard of her before this one, Finley, although you'd have to be locking away that name for future reference. Next up was the Open Women's. Now, Sierra Kerr overcomes health issues to steal a win. This was a daylight robbery, not as in the whole sense, but a robbery from someone else.
Yeah.
That person being Miller Coco Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She was winning for the majority of this heat, landing a punt that was quite significant as well.
Yeah.
Thought to have it all locked down, but on the last attempt of the whole entire final, Sierra Kerr stomped a huge backside rotor, which was not marginally. I'm trying to think of the word. Significantly, that was the one. Significantly bigger and had more amplitude than
huge.
Miller's, unfortunately for Miller. And stomped it clean, and the crowd erupted. All the women that were all waiting, like they were just in the shallow part of the pool, and like it was like Christmas. It's like everyone at Chris got their fucking Chrissy presents and unwrapped them all at once.
To be fair as well, like I went to, when they went to the left, obviously the girls won. I'm just looking at the list now. So you had Sarah Kerr, Miller, Sky Brown, Molly Picklum, Bella Kenworthy. So in that list, you've got 4 natural footers, 1 goofy footer. Once they went to the left, I tuned out because I was like, I've never seen any of these guys really do a back end there or a one of substance.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right until the very last run of that, which she got the highest score of the event, 43 on the ladies' side, for a big back end full rope, which I didn't think any of these girls had in them, and it was very, very impressive. She proved me wrong very quickly. Obviously, Sky was the goofy footer, but seemed to maybe have a higher success rate on her back end. She landed 3 from 3 on the right and 0 from 3 on the left. So the only actual completed wave out of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 was Sierra's on her last wave, 43. Yeah, pretty crazy.
That's incredible.
Mm.
I did actually get some footage of Molly Picklum in the warm-up surfing, and I would say that was probably her best out of the whole days. It was on the Thursday.
Right.
She stomped a pretty nice aeroverse.
Front side?
On the back end.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we'll throw in the YouTube video for reference. I would say that was probably her standout performance was on the Thursday, so perhaps peaked a little too early there, Finland.
And I think as well, I said this to you on the day, it's probably the first event this year, Molly, or like not the first event, but near enough the first event this year that Molly hasn't been the favourite in going into it. And it's like 3 or 4 other girls that have never surfed on the World Tour, but they're probably all higher make percentages and are better at airs than she is. That she held her own, she made the final, and she's proven she can do it on every field. So good on her.
Yep. The big one, the Open men's.
Yeah.
So this one was kind of a ping pong match. It was a hot potato, sorry, not a pit ball match. Hot potato. So the lead kind of just incrementally got swapped around, and obviously the totals got higher and higher.
Mm.
I think it was actually Harley Walters that grabbed the lead.
No, they stitched him up. So it was the final.
They squared it off, didn't they?
Yeah. So it was Zeke, or Jacob Zakelli, Yago, Dora, Harley Walters, Robbie McCormick, Joel Vaughan. So no one landed anything on their first run. Joel Vaughan and Zeke on their second runs landed an air, which was sort of Joel got a 34, Zeke got a 37. Mm-hmm. Then on the third run, it was Joel and Robbie landed another one, 42. They couldn't split them, so they gave them the same score. So they were tied first at this stage. Then Harley drops a 41 on his next one.
Yep.
And then for us, we were going probably maybe fair enough. That's like that score, probably slightly less than Joel and Robbie, so that's cool. But then on his next wave, his fifth wave, he stomped a bigger air, and we were going, that's got to be a 43, 44, and it came in at a 40. That was where the controversy came in. We actually thought at that point in the event he should have been sitting outright first,
for sure,
and he wasn't. But it did not matter in the end because Joel Vaughan came out on his final wave of the event. And for context here, Joel flew in Thursday afternoon. Huey actually we had to wrap up our interview with Huey. Not that we didn't finish it, but we knew he had to go at X time. So he bailed and went to pick Joel up. I can't imagine Joel would have had a warm up. Could be wrong, but he rolled in real late. It didn't really matter anyway because he'd just flown in from Europe, so he would have been buggered. But he got on his very last wave of 48 for a flip, and it was a bit of synergy there. I think that's the word, I guess. I don't know. Let's run with synergy. He wins the final on the air that Huey, his brother, won the final of the previous event in, which is pretty sick.
As you mentioned, Finley, Joel Vaughan with the win with his 48, which was very impressive, might I add. But I actually went with our Surfer of the Week for the win, which is brought to you by Macaroni's Resort with their yearly coaching clinic. So use Largo for 10% off your next stay. These coaching clinics run from when, Finley?
They run from January 9th to March 6th, Zachary, and they are run by Matt Granger and Oni Anwar. So check out Macaroni's Resort's website for more details.
Two of the elites. And our Surfer of the Week is Harley Walters. I feel like he did everything right. His success rate was amazing. The amplitude, the height, the sound of the board just slapping. The chemical water there was it just left everyone's jaws on the floor. I would have loved a little cheeky cheer up for Harley and that check of 20K over his head.
And the thing I loved about Harley as well is he's another guy that's real cruisy, and he's not really one to be too outspoken. He's not a Zeke. He just goes with the flow. Whatever happens with him, but deep down there is a fire burning, a competitive fire, and he was locked in. So the top five from the semifinals progressed into the final. He was sitting third or fourth, I believe, at the time, and there was a few surfers remaining. It may have even been fourth he was sitting in. And there was only a couple of surfers remaining, and he needed Cam Richards to fall in his next attempt, and we were all sitting there, like it would have locked him in. We were all stood there. He was with us, and I had the phone out, and we were just going, nah, he hasn't got it, dude. He hasn't got it. And he's like, oh, he's a bit nervy. And I filmed him, and he was like lining this air section up, and you could see, like we could see on the day, you could almost tell if they're going to land it before they went for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of got a little bit late to the section, and we just immediately just went, no, he hasn't got it. He fell, turned the camera to Harley, and everyone's going, yeah, like cheering him on. It was so sick.
He'll be fine.
He lands his halves.
I don't think he's got a half. He does.
No, he doesn't have it halves. Doesn't have it. Doesn't have it. Yeah. Makes the final, as you touched on, was landing nearly everything. I think he had 2 scores above 40 in the final. He was MVP of the event, I reckon. He was the most valuable player. He was doing acid drops. He had that combo earlier on in the in the event where he did an acid drop into a crazy boned out straight air. Was really impressive right throughout the weekend, and I think no one better to give this award to.
It is a very prestigious award.
Yeah, well, Harley Walters, congratulations, mate. And also, had a good crack at the after party too, which does get you points.
Let's move into it. The afters presented by Rush, was it? I don't even
presented. So the story here, or the I guess the story, we'll run with that I was presented with was, so the guy who had the party, this is his parents' second home, I believe, not even their primary residence. It's a harbourside mansion on Sydney Harbour.
Point something.
Let's not give the address.
No, where it is, like the
Point
area.
Piper. Point Piper.
Was it?
Yeah, Point Piper.
Yeah, Point Piper. Yep.
On Sydney Harbour. Now, the tale of this party is he's starting an agency, like an events agency, I guess. Said to Stab, hey, I've got a house. You can use it for the after party. Just promote me. So that's exactly what they did. We rolled in. There's a guest list. We managed to get ourselves onto it, which was very nice. Rolled in. You had to follow him on entry on the Instagram
What
page.
did you think of that? Like, you get your name checked off. Yeah. You walk past this bouncer that looks like he's going to eat me. And then there was this other woman presenting herself with a QR code. And I was like, oh, it might be one of those like temp testing or something like that.
Yeah.
And she said, conditions of entry for everyone is you have to follow his Instagram account. What do you think of that?
Look, it's probably not the way to go about getting followers. I don't love it, but I kind of respect it, because you know there's 1,000 people coming through that door. Even if half of them follow you, it's a good result.
It's a cheap entry into a party like
it
that.
Really is. Like, we didn't pay a cent for this thing. We just rolled in. The only thing we paid for was the Uber to get there.
Yeah.
We rock in. He is immediately doing a DJ set, I believe. Or I think they had a band first.
Yeah.
But then he goes up on the decks. He's doing his own set. Just jumping back quickly as well, I reckon the unfollowing rate would have been pretty high on his account after that part.
We checked in the morning and it was, I think he had lost about 300.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, we roll in. He's doing his set. There's probably, as you come in through the front door, you go down 4 or 5 flights of stairs to the first level, which is the tennis court, which is where the main stage is set up. You can then go down a further 4 to 5 flights of stairs to.
Can't jump in there.
Sorry, go.
Oh, you're forgetting when I greeted at the door after you've just followed his Instagram. The lady then said, "You can take the elevator."
Yeah.
Or the stairs, and I went, coming in.
Yeah.
Elevator.
Yeah.
So there was an elevator present.
There was an elevator.
And then I met you on the tennis court, and I was like, I'm stinging for a bit of a feed. Grilled burgers, the venue put on all the food. Yeah. There was like probably 300-400 sliders, chips, everything there. Yeah. There was free booze out the wazoo on the tennis court, and that's where a stage was set up, and like everything was green. And then I said to you, where's the pisser? Like, I'm busting for a piss because I had a few bevies before I got there. I need to break the seal. And I was going, where's the pisser? And you looked at me like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, fuck, all right. So I walk solo back to the stairwell, and I'm looking at the stairwell, and it goes up and down. And I went, pisser. Down? Like, would you guess down?
I reckon there would have been an ensuite in every single one of the rooms in that house, but they weren't all accessible to us.
True.
I probably would have gone down also.
I went down.
Yeah.
So I walked down 2 flights of stairs, and I'm greeted with a long hallway that is lit up green. Yeah. Now, at the time, there was no one in this long hallway, probably about, 30, 40 meters long. And I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like, but I fucking, it's like I found the
Gone to Narnia.
cabinet to Narnia. Yeah. And I was like, but no one stopped me. So I was like, no one stopped me. I'm like, fuck it, it's free game. I almost felt like peeking my head around the corner going, hello. Anyway, I walked down this long corridor, and I'm like, okay, there must be something down here, like a toilet. It was quite quietish because like you could just hear dung, 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 like upstairs. Yeah. I am then greeted with an entirely different house and a different party. There was another 300 people downstairs, another set of DJs, the outside pool, There was like another bar. There was everything. And I was like, it was fucking Narnia.
Yeah.
I was like, what just happened?
If you needed any more proof that it was Narnia, there was taxidermy animals
There was.
everywhere you look. There was a zebra at the end of that hallway that you described.
Which I heard was real. Like
Well-
it walked before.
Yeah. There was also a terrarium, which I didn't actually see in the flesh, but my girlfriend saw, which had a crocodile in
There
it.
was a crocodile in there.
There was various bird species littered around
There was
the house.
skins as rugs.
That was like, it's your typical, like, just manor. Like, it's just a rich manor.
There was chandeliers.
Yeah.
Old school, like old English kind of styled stuff, like stuff you'd never buy, but like you see in movies.
If you have money, you would buy.
Anyway, I walk outside and I'm like, holy shitballs. And that's where like majority of the party from Stab was. And everyone's like, yeah, it's way more mellow down here. I'm like, oh, thank God. But yeah, long lines for toilets. I'll tell you that much. There was 1s, 2s, and 3s. You know what I mean?
So yeah, there's plenty of people fitting into a stall, which is, I don't know, maybe they were just...
Unless a lot of people were sharing poos and going one by one, then there was always 5 people in the dunny. So you can only take what you will out of that. But I was blown away, like just a guy going to do a little tingle and found another party.
Yeah.
And then I went up to come up and grab you, and you fucking roll, and I was like, oh, look at this fucking party.
It was like incredible. Like
Great
Project X.
There's no better way to sum it up than Project X. If you haven't seen the movie, just Google images it or just go on YouTube. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but it was properly Project X. And I was just waiting to like open a door and like see your absolute surf idols in like a massive orgy. You know, so, you know what I mean? Like one of those parties where it's like, did you see like someone doing this? Or like, it was actually that incredible. Yeah. Must have been 1,000 people.
The rhetoric getting spread around was 1,000 people. I don't know if there was in the end, but it wouldn't have been far off it.
Well, the tennis court was almost shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, true.
Downstairs, probably a couple hundred.
Mm-hmm.
Upstairs, people in various bedrooms and toilets doing whatever, God knows what.
Yeah.
There was rooms, like I found this one room that looked like the inside of a pyramid. It was like an old wine cellar thing
Right.
upstairs. And I peeked into his garage. There was a Lamborghini Urus in there. There was a Beamer. There was crazy shit.
It was like honestly crazy. And then that's not even half of it, because at 11 o'clock, I believe, what became known as the rave room opened. So not only did they have the tennis court and the downstairs area with 2 separate DJs, they had this third setup which had another DJ. So there's essentially 3 parties going on in one. Eventually, the top level got shut down by the cops. Cops rocked up. And then everyone was forced downstairs into this little hot, sweaty room, which was...
It's a nightclub inside
Yeah.
the house.
It Yeah.
They're like $5,000 lights, and there was multiple lights like that. So that room, it had a bar.
Yep.
Like-
there's another bar in there.
Like a glass bar. I'm not talking like someone getting their fucking Christmas picnic table out and just putting like bottles of vodka on it. It was a bar, like glass shelving.
Yeah.
Like almost probably had a till behind it. Like that's what it looked like. Like proper bar.
You could have set up an establishment in there.
And every influencer in Sydney you'd think was there. There was definitely a couple crowds there, Finley. There was crew that I was like, I'm pretty sure he's in Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
And then there was crews where I was like, that chick's got 300 million followers.
I saw a footy player as well.
So, which footy player?
I believe it's a Bulldogs player. You wouldn't know who it is. I'm pretty sure Satili Tupanel was there.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was influencers with 300 million followers.
Surfing with Noz was there.
Surfing with Noz was there.
He rolled in.
Largo was there. Those
Yeah.
boys were fucking killing it on the decks. Most people from the party, from Stab High were there. I ended up having a pretty big one, and I left before like Harry Bryant was still kicking around with his monster hat on. It was like a cowboy hat with a monster sticker on it. Who else was there? Zeke was there, but I don't know. That kind of all blended into one, really.
Yeah. Like it was cool. I've got a video of me like cheersing Rasta Rob. I was stood on a lounge. It was probably worth more than I am. I don't know why I stood up on it. I was like, Maya was up there, and I was like, Maya, get down. Like, like it's an expensive lounge. And then I just look around and I was like, they just don't care. Like,
Nah.
so I just stood up on it. That was
So allegedly he has another unit that he lives in the main street of Bondi.
right.
And yeah, but the music, the loudness of the music was insane. This is suburbs. It wasn't a warehouse. It wasn't.
No.
This is someone's fucking house. Like you can look. It was on a hillside,
Yeah.
kind of cut into the hill. You can look to your right and left, and there was just neighbors looking in, just going, "Oh, not this kid again!" Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, it was a music festival
Mm.
in a house.
Tell you who won that party was Shimmy Disco.
Yeah, she was.
Jiminy Stoyle, she was being paid to be there to DJ, and he didn't want to get down off the decks, so she was just partying.
Yeah,
So she did end up doing a set, but it was much shorter than it should have been, and she was just chilling. She's like, I'm getting paid to be here. I'm got free drinks. He doesn't want to get down, so I'm just cruising. So I think she actually she won the party.
yeah. The drinks were highly accessible. Like there was bottles on bottles on bottles of vodka just like lined up. Just,
Yeah.
but they did run out of mixes. I don't know if you had many after about midnight, but we were drinking vodka waters for a bit because and they ran out of cups. He goes, mate, have you got a cup? And I was like, I don't know, you're the bartender. You could just kind of tell. Like,
Well, I ended up in possession of an entire bottle of vodka at one point.
yeah, there was so much shit going on, man. That was insane.
Yeah, that was cool. I got out of there, probably about 12, I think, or 1.
Yeah,
And I actually thought you'd left, hence why I left. And then I got a call from you on the Uber on the way home, and you're going, no, like, where are you? Like, I'm still here. And I was like, I'm so sorry. But it was tough. Like, the upstairs got shut down from the co-ops. Downstairs had sort of wrapped up too. It was only really that rave room. And it seemed like everyone was leaving. Harley got out of there. Huey was gone as well. Huey and Joel, they bailed. So I was just like, oh, well, I don't know where you are. You would have kept me there, but I didn't know where you were. So I was like, I'm out of here too. But I don't think much good stuff happened after midnight, right?
nothing good happens after midnight. But yeah, I ended up wrapping up at 3. Got home at 3:30. I was not the last person there. I tell you that. I reckon I left at 3:30, and there was 150 people.
Yeah,
still there.
And they would have been there until daybreak.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think Glindo was still there. Glindo was there. Few others were still lurking in the shadows there, and I was like, oh man, I can't drink anymore. I'm just, when you're having like fizzier drinks like White Claws, and they just kind of sit in your stomach, and I was like, oh fucking get out of me.
Yeah.
But that's the best party I've ever been to.
Well, I don't have much to compare it to, but I feel like I'm gonna struggle to live up to that. Yeah, again, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was. That house you'd have to put a dollar figure on it of like 25 to 30 million.
It was huge, and
looked at the harbour,
proximity.
Yeah,
you walked out onto the back patio and you could see both the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House.
Yeah, infinity pool.
Yeah,
3 DJs.
Yeah,
free endless piss.
Yeah,
vodka bottles coming out the wazoo. You could go to Egypt. I went inside a pyramid in Australia.
Yeah. Go to Narnia.
So many little hidden rooms and nooks and crannies, and yeah, that was incredible.
We've got some listener questions as well. I'm sure a few of those are going to pertain to this party, and we may have answered them.
We'll gloss over the listener questions as I bring it up on my mobile device.
Let's get into them. Look, yeah, that was, I said it off the top of the episode, but genuinely probably the best, or not probably the best weekend I've experienced.
Oh, it was astronomical.
Yeah.
Still feeling it.
Everywhere.
You ready for some listener cues?
Hit me.
Okay, so first one is by Perry Farrell 7. Stab higher. What boards were people riding? Epoxy, carbon, more liters, anything chunky? I did see some carbons getting rocked around.
A lot of
carbons. GPS ones.
Yeah, a lot of epoxies too. Not many PUs at all.
Nah.
If any.
And shorter.
Yeah. Huey's boards, they look like little skateboards. Like,
yeah,
they were similar to Luke Lopez, was it, that I just said earlier?
Yeah.
Not to that extent where they had the really wide nose, but he had a lot more float in the top of his boards than I reckon he normally would have.
I would say 90% of the surfboards there were purposefully built for the pool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I caught up with Mikey Wright as well, and he got one.
Yeah.
flown in quickly from JS. He wanted a carbon. So
A lot of carnage as well. A lot of broken boards
Oh,
for a
yeah.
wave pool event. A lot of
I'd say not as many broken boards, but a lot of creases.
and you could hear them as soon as they hit the water. It just echoed through the pool, and you're just going, "Oh, there's another one."
Yeah.
Harley went through a few.
The acid drop was
Claimed many aboard
claimed many victims. Just quickly, yay or nay?
on.
Acid drops.
I don't so much get the I think if you can do them, it's sick. I don't know about it adding extra points to your score, which was the gist of what they were doing. If you could nail an acid drop and then go into a punt, it could elevate your score slightly. I don't necessarily love it, but I also maybe if you had 240s, say, but someone acid dropped, then you go, all right, well, he acid dropped, then that means he gets them better. You know what I mean? But don't know. I think they're really hard to do. I just think for that day, and I think a lot of people figured it out pretty quickly. It's not even really worth it because you're just either going to break your board or you might stick one, but then you've still got to land the air after it to get any real points. So you're almost just better off paddling, I reckon.
I think they are kind of boring.
Yeah.
After the first two,
Yeah.
Zeke did do one where he jumped off and did a 180.
Which is
really
really difficult. And just for context, Cam Richards did one early on, and it was the first one I actually saw made. And even he he got caught up in the wash and ended up straightening out. So for Zeke to do a spin and ride out cleanly was crazy.
I just think it was a little overhyped for what was produced. But anyway.
Yep.
We have Sauce Bottle.
Yeah.
Has Stab High gone Olympic tech style like skateboarding and taken the stomp style and steez out of it? E.g. air power mongers, Noah Archie Fletcher, etc. Will it backfire with 12-year-old culturalist air chant?
I don't think so. I think you mentioned your Fletchers and the old school crew. They grew up in a time period where you did a pretty stock air for these days. That was really cool back then because no one else was doing it. Not saying they only did small airs, they obviously did large airs too, but we're kind of in a window now where there's kids coming through that are doing airs that if they did it back then, they would have been put on a pedestal for the rest of their life, crazy. So I think it's just changing of the times, and this is going to naturally happen with progression. I don't think so. I think it's I think that event couldn't have been run any better if they it was just seamless. Everyone was ripping. The right people were there. That everyone was going for it. I think it's across board.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It was a flawless event.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And we are very fucking critical on events, clearly.
Yeah.
We wrote a letter to WSL saying where they should actually go and put their events. Strangest thing you saw at the party?
The strangest thing I saw, I was undoubtedly the zebra. It fully threw me for six. I walked down and went, oh my God, that's literally a
I
zebra.
don't even think it's a zebra. It's just the taxidermied animals everywhere.
Yeah, or that was strange. And then there was a weird side cabinet with just various objects scattered in there. And then probably what was weird was how much valuable things they had on display. I was walking into the bottom level just going someone's gonna have a few too many tonight. They're gonna fall over and knock that that lampshade over, or that friggin' I don't know, cabinet of glasses that's worth more than most people at that event, so that was strange to me. I thought they might have put those away, but probably the zebra, to be honest.
Yep. I in one of the rooms I managed to sneak into, there was a bathroom which became a godsend because the toilet lines were absolutely huge everywhere else. I didn't tell anyone about the bathroom. I was I got a little secret potty that no one knows about. It was in the gym.
Yeah.
In the bathroom in the gym, there was maybe 30 tubs of creatine and protein.
You would have been in your element,
But
mate.
then I was thinking, I've got two. I've got one tub of creatine and one tub of protein. Why did you need there was fucking 30 tubs?
Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're selling creatine.
I don't know. That was pretty strange. And then I actually got invited up to the man himself's room.
Really?
Yeah, I actually managed to get up there. Got a little house tour, and in his bathroom was about 50 bottles of cologne, all different types of ones. Just one for every month or something for the next 5 years.
They wouldn't have been cheap colognes either. They
No, but I'm talking like, an excessive amount. And I don't know about you, but like my partner doesn't like clutter on the vanities. There was just clutter all over him that you could tell would just live there.
Just a guy's room, but if a guy had stupid amounts of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So taxidermied animals, an absurd amount of creatine and protein, as well as enough aftershave to pretty much
Cover the party.
Yeah, cover the whole party. That was pretty strange. Who was the biggest letdown?
Not that they were a letdown. I was like almost left wanting though was Huey, because I really wanted him to make the final, and I was just like we were all riding him on his last wave, just going, please land this thing. The ironic thing was though, if he did land his last air, he would have knocked Joel out, who ended up winning the event. So maybe it was all meant to be. But I like not saying it all is a letdown, but I was just like, I felt like almost ripped off. I was like, bugger, like I don't get to see Huey anymore in this event. I don't know who you think.
Keegan Palmer.
Yeah.
Purely just because he dropped an absolute banger before the event at another wave pool.
Yeah.
So I was telling everyone, like, careful, like, watch these guys. And I actually spoke to Julian about it on Thursday, and he said he thought the skaters wouldn't do really well because they're used to this environment when the music's going, you get your chance. Like, there's no, like, hunting for waves. The skaters are much more systematic. Like, it's going to happen. I'm going to get a shot, rather than, like, surfers are new to that environment.
You're almost like thankful to get an opportunity. And, but then it's almost like when you do get one, you're not used to it. So it's nerve wracking. Whereas they're like, my run's at this time, I know I'm going to get a section at this time and I'm going to land it.
It's up to me.
Yeah.
It's not up to old mate the Blue Rashy over there paddling rings around me and not getting an opportunity. So he was saying he actually thought the skaters were going to really do well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say I was a little disappointed, but again, it's not his sport. He's a 3-time or 2-time gold medalist at skating. So who am I to say anything there? Joel Vaughan has to be Surfer of the Week or Sierra Kerr. We did mention this, but no.
No. I thought Joel, given his, like, Harley obviously deserves it, so it's more than happy to give it to Harles, but I was just like, Joel comes from the world tour, has a really good break, like, requalifies, makes it back on for next year, has a breakout season, and then comes and wins it in a wave pool, which his brother won last time. I thought that was just some, like, good, like, lineages there.
Yeah, I agree.
But Harley throughout the entire event was just
underdog.
Yeah, underdog, and really, really was so stoked with his result, which was really cool to see.
Another big underdog, Grayson Hendricks.
Yeah.
Man, he can do a fucking boned out straight.
He really can.
He's got those things on tap.
Yeah.
This is by Alan Emma or Alan Mister, and I really like this one. Thoughts on having stab high with the perfect swell tech, which is the wave pool. It has 2 air sections. I think it's Sao Paulo.
I think it could be cool to do like stab combo or something, you know, like, and have maybe not have it stab high, although you could still run it there, but like rewarding a combo of airs.
I think it can still be called stab high because in a way they've already introduced a combo through the acid drop. So to get 2 air sections, which they were trying to do Jules was trying to do 2 airs on one wave at the Japan one. So I'm actually all for it, and it's probably the most suited wave for this. Actually, I reckon Urban Surf's air section, they nailed that. We spoke to Ryan, the engineer. Good on you, Ryan, out there, if you're listening.
Legend.
That poor bugger's been on 50-hour weeks to get that thing right for the last few weeks. So big shout out to Ryan at Urban Surf for getting that dialed in. That section and the one that this person's talking to, Alan, if they were the 2 in the calendar year, I'd be one happy camper.
Yeah.
Stab high, best event ever going, cuz. Can you guess who that was?
Harley Walters.
That was Harley Walters.
The cuz gives it away.
This one's by James Martin. Lost some respect for Zeke after stab high, dropping in on GV after his acid thoughts.
That was a part of the event. I was like, I was still up in the air on
Kind
Zeke.
of free game.
But like he wasn't like dropping it. He was just waiting he knew the next 3 people were all going for acid drops.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait here because one of them's gonna fall. And
Did get close though.
No. It was he was paddling and pulling back. So if it's
No, on Joel's one though, like there was a moment where you could tell Joel was falling,
yeah,
but he was already on the wave
Yeah.
while Joel is still falling. If that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
That wave in particular though, he nearly stopped the sickest air.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, is that his opportunity to get a score, or is it?
They weren't happy about it. Apparently, they were considering DQing him. So
Yeah. How's all these things, by the way? The acid drop over Yago's head, the dropping in, these weren't organised.
No.
This is just, this bloke is going, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I kind of like it.
yeah,
Didn't have premium. How did Pickles go with the airs? That was Tasman_B. She did well in the practice, as mentioned. We'll put that up on YouTube so that you can see that one. But a little lackluster throughout the entire event.
Yep.
Then there is some questions relating to Brazil. Why did our homie from Malibu try acid drops on all of his attempts? Team manager sad. That's by Kevin Harmer.
who's
I forget who's from Malibu.
would it maybe
Not
have
Zeke.
been? No, could it have been Ryuki Matsuda? Does he live in Malibu now?
No idea.
I don't know who you're referring to, but if it's Ryuki,
Raider? It's not Ryuki. That's
hang on, who did I just say?
It's definitely not.
Raiji
Raiji.
Masuda.
Yeah.
If you're referring to Raiji, he did try all 6 of his waves in the semi-final to acid drop. Didn't stick a single one. I just kind of think he'd done all of his lefts, and I was kind of wigging on this slightly because he's gathered a bit of fame around a backhand air that he does better than anyone probably. I don't even know the grab. It's like a lean grab or something. Gets so much amplitude, like as high as you can go doing it out, and he's really consistent landing them. That's kind of how he's almost come into these events. Real steezy, sponsored by Supreme, was it?
Supreme.
Yeah, so like kind of got a bit of swagger about him. And I think he got to the end of his lefts and went, oh no, like I've just blown all my lefts on this acid drop. He also broke multiple surfboards as well.
Did. Actually, he creased the same board about 10 times.
Right, okay.
And then it broke.
And then it broke, yeah. And then he and then went on to the right, and I guess he just went, look, I've just got to bite the bullet here and keep going. And I guess the more you fall, the more you have to commit. And by run 6, he just had to go for it again.
Got donuts.
Yeah, so duck eggs for Raiji.
Questionable Astro deck as well.
On the rail.
On the rail.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like one long one that goes all the way through. It's just these little maybe 30 centimeters by 10 centimeter rail bits, which we will highlight in our YouTube as well. Yeah. James McCullough. Should Urban Surf open the same airwave to the public? Pros get it. I need the practice. Watch that space. I think it's on the cards.
Okay.
I think it might be able to be privately
booked out.
But just be mindful that it does shut down the whole pool. So it's not like I just want to go surf the left or the right. It's you're gonna, if they do make it publicly available, you're gonna have to book the whole pool. So just be mindful of that.
Won't be cheap.
No. Stab High should have more non-chlorine comps. What do you think? No. I'm going to say no. It's just having a wave every 90 seconds and the success rate, and that event is a pool event.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. You can't, to get into Urban Surf, you got to buy a ticket. You got to get like that little beep on the way in. That's what surfing needs right now. I'm not saying replace with something. It should just have two, options.
Yeah.
And I think this space will grow. Hopefully X Games and things will come in and do their versions as well. But no, it's a big no actually from me. And it's just purely from a spectator perspective. Rubbing shoulders with Yago, rubbing shoulders with Molly Picklum, like watching the little groms and girls run around, like there's nothing stopping you. Whereas like when we seem to have these other events, they sit in their little bunkers in the competitors area, and getting any insights into it is pretty rare.
Yeah.
This event was just a huge fucking tick in the aspect where you can talk to, like, we made a vlog talking to our favorite surfers without any hindrance.
Yeah.
And
just access.
It's just there's bars, there's food, there's you can film it on your iPhone and get high def stuff because you're right there, a meter your way.
Yeah.
You could throw something at someone. You could throw a full fucking beer can at them if you wanted to. You can do all that. You just can't replicate that in the ocean. So for me, Finley, it's a big fat no.
Agreed.
You agree?
Yeah.
Oh wow, amazing. Why no invite for Sebastian Williams? Great call.
I forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe he might have been. Is he in the Challenger Series?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen his name.
Okay, let me check. Let me quickly check on this because I think he is a guy that if he was in this event, probably you're probably locking in a final for him, especially giving him that air section every time. What do we got? Round 1, not in the opening round. So unless he's in, sorry, not in round 64, unless he's in the opening round.
I'm gonna say no. I didn't see his name kicking around.
Nah, not in it. So I don't know. Maybe
Family time.
Maybe I don't know.
And then
We could start a rumor.
We could start a rumor.
Was there blow ups after Surf 100?
Maybe they parted ways.
Mm.
Last one was by the man himself, Semi Everett. Did Whiteman have a crack? If he means at the party, then I think I did. A 3 o'clock finish is pretty astronomical.
Pretty good.
But yes, definitely had a crack.
Did Samuel have a crack?
Semi Everett had more than a crack. He went absolutely astronomical.
Yeah.
Finley, I reckon that's where we leave it.
Yeah, look, I was going to do a little bit of a run through of the Changers, but maybe we just...
I reckon we save it for another day. We're at an hour 30, $1.30. Let's give some people their time back.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. We find ourselves roughly halfway through the event. So usually we'd do a half event run, but because we've gotten so much to say today, or we've had so much to say, then we might do a comprehensive review next week. I do just want to quickly give a shout out though to a few of the Aussies remaining in the draw. Mike McDonough, probably not overachieving, but like going above and beyond what we expected of him so far this event. It's not a venue really where you'd point at the map and go, that's where Mikey's going to do well. And he's given it to crew and he's shown a lot of passion as well, which I love to see. He surfs so good when he's feeling it, and he seems like he's feeling it at this event. So good on him. Also Oscar Berry, who I believe they're versing each other in the next round, which is going to be a crazy heat. So look out for that one. And there's a couple others in the mix too, but Jacko Baker.
Yeah, Mud.
He's still
going.
He's still stomping through the event. So
and hot off the press, Tia Zabrowski, youngest person ever to qualify for the World Championship Tour 2026.
Lock her in.
Wow, didn't see that one coming, did we, Finley?
No, we definitely missed that.
She can retire for the rest of the year and still make it. So well done to her.
Absolutely. Let's leave it.
I just realised I did that whole podcast with the microphone pretty well smack bang in the middle of my face. So if you're on YouTube, apologies for that. Let's leave it there.
Thanks for listening, guys. And like we touched on at the start, still got some merch available. Thanks to everyone who's already grabbed some stuff. It's getting low. Like there's not a lot left. So jump in if you can. Links in our bio. We'll keep plugging it and whatnot. But yeah, really cool to have some people out there wearing what we're doing.
It's in the fucking wild now, mate.
It's in the wild.
I can't wait to see one in the wild.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye.